have on the line Don. Don, how are you, young man?
Good morning. I'm doing fantastic.
You know, I always look forward to talking to you, buddy. People really like hearing all of the franchise stuff that you got to talk about. Very briefly, because, we only got about 7-8 minutes or so. I want to get as much as possible. But let's remind everybody listening exactly what it is you do.
Well, I am in the franchise consulting business. We currently represent about 460 franchise brands in 17 categories, 185 subcategories. I'm the VP of membership for the organization called FranServe. We train, support, and certify about 385 franchise consultants in 5 countries.
Okay,
wow.
Great. So, Don, you don't know her, but this is Nicole Greer.
Hi, Nicole. I do know Nicole.
How do you know Nicole? How can you possibly know Nicole?
Because she linked in with me this morning at 4:50 a.m.
She is.
That's the way I roll.
Is she not spectacular?
Yeah.
Gosh. Okay. Now, I'm wind, and fire, and we're pretty sure you're wind. So why don't you start blowing some hot air my way and give me some new, interesting franchise opportunities that do not require a college education.
Okay, I'm going to do that, but can I really quick, because you guys asked me which element I was, and
yes.
I want to ask Nicole. I'm going to give you a little bit about what happened yesterday. Our power went out yesterday in the office. I went to hook up the generator. The first 2 things that I hooked up to that generator, and then I'm going to tell you, and then you tell me what element I am. The first 2 things, and the only 2 things I hooked up to that generator were, A, the coffee pot, and B, the crock pot.
I'm going to say that he's wind. He's in a hurry. He doesn't have time to actually cook a real meal. He has to pour it in, can of this, can of that, piece of meat, go. Coffee, he's got to keep fired up.
How'd she do?
Love it. She did great. Great. I give her an A+.
She is spectacular. I'm telling you, spectacular.
Exactly.
Let's talk about this because, I know recently you talked at a school about the types of franchises that you can go into without a college education. Listen, just about every franchise you can go into without a college education, right? Because
but Don, that's a great statement. So pretty much any franchise, they're going to teach you what you need to know.
Exactly, because that's the whole purpose of a franchise. Right? If you're an automotive technician, you're not going to purchase an automotive brand because you already know it all. The purpose of a franchise is that you're going to go into a business that has already set up the model, they've already made all the errors, they've already made all the mistakes, they've corrected those mistakes, and they've got a business in a box, essentially. So you're going to go to the corporate headquarters, you're going to learn everything that it is that you need to know. Now, of course, the biggest thing with running a business is you need to have common sense, but you also need to have some business savvy. You have to have that business savvy of how to run a business. And would a college education help in that? Absolutely. But I know many successful. You look at all the different entrepreneurs in the world today, how many of them dropped out of college and don't have a college degree? By the way, speaking of college, Nicole, yes, our Tar Heels are the 2017 national champions.
That's right. I read that on your LinkedIn profile. And I was just going to say, I think the other thing that is so important about somebody who wants to buy a franchise is their coachability. Can you talk about being coachable? I think that's huge, statement. Right?
Yeah, that's a good question, and that's the reason why I brought up that an automotive technician typically isn't going to go into an automotive brand because they already know the industry. If you have someone that's not coachable, they're a know-it-all. We talk about that all the time. If I'm talking to a client of mine who wants to go into franchising and they're correcting me or they're correcting the franchise on the way that they're running their process, they're not a good fit. It's not going to be a good marriage. It's like I always tell my daughters when they're dating, honey, you can't change him. You're not going to be able to change this boy. He is who he is. You can't change the boy.
I can get you a Pep Element profile for every single boy that comes through the door, and we can get them all analyzed. I can do that for you, Don.
Okay, I'm gonna be talking to you soon, Nicole.
Give me a couple of unique franchise. I always like to hear and talk to Don because he comes up with these just absolutely unique businesses that are happening. Give me a couple, buddy.
I'll give you a couple that are really trending so far in 2017. The first one is called Bio One. This is a particular franchise model. It's really very unique. It's one of a kind. And it is a franchise that is a crime and trauma scene cleanup.
Wow.
It's not glamorous, right? But it is a necessity, unfortunately. And but they are the leader in biorecovery, really worldwide. But they are, any type of crime or trauma scene. Family members aren't going to want to deal with that, and so this is a business where you have to be in hazmat suits. Necessarily, the owner isn't the one doing the work. They have employees that do the work. The owner's overseeing it. Public relations, that sort of thing, is called an executive-type ownership is what we're looking for there. Another one that's kind of more on the fun side is called Big Frog Custom T-shirts. Big Frog Custom T-shirts is an operation that runs out of a retail storefront, and they do one-off T-shirts, or you could do 5 or 10, or what have you. You go in, you design the T-shirts yourself. This is perfect for like family reunions or corporate outings, things of that nature. And it's a fun, very high-margin type of business. It is a retail brick-and-mortar location, so the investment's a little bit higher than what a non-retail brick-and-mortar location would be. But Big Frog Custom T-shirts has been trending lately. Scout and Molly's has been trending lately. That's another storefront that's really unique. We talk.
What is that one, Don?
Yeah, Scout and Molly's. A good buddy of mine sent me an email. He said, you got all these big retail chains going out of business, filing bankruptcy. Looking at JCPenney, looking at Sears, looking at Kmart, and these others, Macy's. And the trend of retail is changing now. And Scout and Molly's is a very unique boutique, and they were founded right here in North Carolina. And they were founded in Georgia, but they're managed now here in North Carolina. In Cary, but Scout Molly's is a unique, the LuLaRoe craze that's going on right now. It's very similar to that. It's a boutique, high-end boutique that has a very
Joe
unique...
frequents boutiques quite often.
Exactly.
I know he does.
Because I got to look good.
He only goes in the morning because they serve mimosas in the morning. So he goes and shops
the best looking guy in Cornelius.
Yeah.
Don, thank you, my friend, as always. And again, if people want to reach you to talk about a franchise opportunity, tell them how they can do that, buddy. Don@franserve.com is the best. Don@franserve, FRANSERVE.com. Thank you, my friend. I do appreciate it. As always, buddy, it is a pleasure to talk with you, my friend.
You got it. Thanks, guys. Take care.